completely flipped the meta on its head to a certain degree. The picks and bans that we saw from VP versus Secret, so unconventional. Do you think that changes what we see the other teams do today?
Probably not. It will definitely change what they're doing, like, you know, as they go further and are going up against Secret or, you know, eventually VP. But the teams today have to stick with what has worked for them. I don't think EG is looking at VP Secret and be like, oh, we should try some of that VP Secret flavor, like the Slark, for example, which was a bit out there. EG is going to keep picking their OD for Sumail, their TBs for RTZ. It's the EG formula doesn't change.
You don't think we see 5 melees today from any of these teams?
It might happen. I would love it. Against some techies as well.
You're just like really digging deep there, bottom of the barrel. Like, let's grab a techies. That'll work.
Techies against 5 meter heroes is a dream.
Techies is not a very strong hero right now, I don't think.
He really is not.
Yeah, I mean, coming from a resident AM spammer, and I want to look at some of the stats that we've actually seen from some of these heroes. When we talk about AM, this was one that was kind of controversial on the desk. I'm pretty sure that Lacoste is going to come in with no beard today.
I mean, if he honors his bet, we discussed yesterday, AM is going to crush a game at this tournament. It doesn't matter when even, and it happens just the first series that he does.
He was casting it too. That was it was just poetic beauty.
I was like, wow, you just accepted that bet, and then just in that series, you lose your beard already.
I just messaged the group chat, and I was like, Lacoste, I think you need to shave. Eyeballs emoji. Well, we'll see. We'll see in a little bit when he actually does get in for his shift. But besides the AM, look, Lich is going to get picked a lot. Grimstroke is going to get picked a lot. We've already talked about that so much. Is there anything, though, that you feel like we haven't really mentioned nearly as much? OD, maybe?
Earth Spirit,
yeah. He's 61, highest win percent on that, most picked heroes, and he's been crushing it, whether it's Crit playing it, whether it's, you know, some of these other players on it. We saw Vici Gaming busted out on Fade. These Earth Spirits have just been...
DJ as well.
Yeah, DJ. There's so many great Earth Spirit players in this tournament and still left in this tournament.
And Earth Spirit, too, I feel like this is one of those heroes that we've touched upon where it's like, you don't necessarily just jam it because it's open, right? You do need somebody who is relatively skill capped on it. Now, one that's interesting in context of yesterday is IO, because IO just banned in first phase nearly, you can see right there, 74 bans in the first phase. Yesterday, it's open and doesn't get selected 2 times in a row. That was really interesting to see VP and Secret move outside of what we expected. Obviously, the third game, we do get to see it with a very interesting composition backing it up as well. But let's talk about the Huskar. I feel like we haven't really seen very much of the Huskar, and it kind of caught us off guard yesterday to see it. Do you think we can expect to see Huskar get through at all today?
It's, I mean, not, as you can see, it's not first phase ban, so it's definitely being left in the pool. It's one of those heroes that gets banned normally last. It's like that old cheese pick. It's less of a cheesy hero now with the rework where he doesn't get that ridiculous amount of magic resistance. But I think the main thing with the Huskar is people just don't fully understand the new Huskar yet. I don't really feel like teams have a good grasp of just how strong it is.
Yeah, and they don't know how to fully utilize the new disarm yet, I think, either.
Yes.
Like, yeah, heroes have hard
or to
counters
play
before.
against it, yeah.
Like for example, the PA, it used to be one of the best heroes against Huskar. Now, until you get BKB, you can't even touch him.
Yep.
But, you know, people are still figuring it out. Recent rework, so...
One person who doesn't have to figure anything out. We're seeing the same name pop up twice on our tournament records. Very impressive to see there. I do want to say, moving into today, we've seen about 34-minute games throughout all the CQ Major. That is the average game length. What does that tell you about how games are playing out right now? What does it tell you about the current patch gods?
It's going very quick. Late games coming a lot earlier. Everyone's getting more farmed. The big change on the recent patches, you know, these towers just have way less armor. The games just seem to be, you know, getting expedited, where 30 minutes in, these carries will have 4 or 5 big items, whereas in the old patch, you have to wait till like 45 minutes. So it just seems like things move along a lot quicker. Teams who get an advantage can kind of snowball faster, and that's where games are just generally going a lot quicker than they have in the past.
And we have seen it pretty consistently, right? There have been a few moments where we actually did get down to the games yesterday, and we saw teams play somewhat differently than we expected. They not only had that late game insurance, but they seemed like their win conditions were very focused on going way later than we've seen in this patch. It seemed like it was a level of nerves, but then we get to VP Secret. Those guys have absolute nerves of steel. It doesn't seem to be a factor. When we get back to the lower bracket today, when we see LGD versus Fnatic, when we see EHome versus EG, do you think we'll see any nerves, Black? Do you think we'll see people getting on this main stage here in China and saying, okay, let's build something a little bit slower and let's let our decision-making play out there?
I think the only two teams that it could happen to is probably EHome and Fnatic. The rest is like 2 seasons already for it to really affect them. And I mean, EHome, they have played on a minor big stage, of course, but it wasn't like a big stage. It was like very, very local. It wasn't even, you know, like in a stadium or whatever, so they didn't actually have to play in front of a crowd. But now, it's like the home crowd, there's probably a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah.
And same as Fnatic, we spoke about it yesterday. Mentality is their biggest problem.
We haven't talked about it in a little bit, but I mean, EHome bodied that tournament though too. Like they looked fantastic at that tournament.
They lost 1 game.
Yeah. And you pretty much said that they lost that game to themselves, right?
Yeah,
it came down to the draft in your mind. So that's an important thing to take into account. I will say EG, though, this is a team that I have a question about right now, Gods. Are they a team? I feel like they slowed stuff down a lot. The way that they were actually looking at games seemed completely different mentality-wise than some of the other teams.
Yeah, they're the slow-paced team right now. You know, let's farm for late game. Let's get all 3 of our cores online. They don't really focus as much on the early to mid-game playmaking and objectives. All about, you know, the late game insurance policy over TZ. Sumail is playing this mid OD, often getting Midas. EG just don't seem in a rush when they're playing Dota.
And now when we talk about our top 3, all in all, obviously we talked about the matches that we're going to see today. Now we're talking about what we're going to see tomorrow. Out of any of these teams, if you had to pick one team right now and say, okay, this is the team that I would choose to pull down this entire tournament, this is the team I would send to the top 3, who would you pick out of our 4?
I'm going to go with Fnatic.
Fnatic? So you think Fnatic is the best hope outside of VP and
Black
Secret?
just gives me this look. He's like, are you crazy? Yeah, I'm going with Fnatic. I know. I got a good feeling.
It's because you're biased. Though.
I'm not biased. Okay, I'm a little biased. Okay, I'm quite biased.
You're very biased.
Very biased. Okay, I get it. There's some bias, Black. No, I disagree on the. I don't think Fnatic's actually that nervous. These guys have played on the big stage as much as everyone else here. I don't think there's a lot of pressure on them. They've gotten top 8 and now top 6 at majors. Yeah. They looked really good yesterday, beating Liquid, who are playing with a stand-in. But you know, we basically said if Fnatic wants to go far in these tournaments, they have to be out a 2-0 team like Liquid, and they did that. So I think Fnatic will maybe cause an upset today against LGD.
I mean, for me, the problem with Fnatic is not like the nerves that they get nervous, but more like if they ever get in trouble, they just don't seem to recover so quickly, you know? Like, if they ever lose an early game, like, super, super badly, although I say that, and yesterday against Liquid they did, and they did manage to recover, which after that I praised them a lot. I was like, they couldn't do that in the past. They definitely improved a lot in that regard, and they might just make it really far.
Who's your team from today, then? And I take it it's not Fnatic.
I would just say, I mean, I loved LGD, but... You know, they looked kind of shaky against VP. So I probably have to go with... All right, let's go Fnatic, man. Let's go Fnatic.
Oh, like, after all of that. After all of that. We're going to hear Fnatic. All right, well, good work, man. Good work.
Convinced him into it.
Yeah, I think that's just you doing your job really well. You completely convinced Black.
They're completely out there. If you want to have a safe bet, you should probably just say LGD.
LGD or EG, I think, is the safer bet.
Okay.
That's, you know, you look at the odds on it or whatever it is, it's probably LGD a favorite, EG right below them, and then Fnatic, EHome are probably kind of similar odds maybe.
But you take into account the pressure, and now it very much is going to be here. We've already seen, yes, there is $1 million on the line, right? You want to get the king share of that prize pool. But when we talk about DPC points, folks, it's already so important to your road to TI, because we look at VP and Secret, we're saying these guys are already looking like they have pretty much a clear run at it. VP mathematically in. Secret, realistically in. I don't think they're 100% mathematically in. If they win, that does change it, right? If they even, I think if they win their next game even, mathematically they are. I'm not going to confirm that, but we will double check.
I mean, as we said, like a meteor has to hit Earth for them to not make it, even at this point. There's no way they're not going.
Stranger things have happened, right? Stranger things have happened. Who knows? Maybe you'll be at TI.
Maybe I'll be the meteor.
There we go. Maybe you'll be the meteor. But when we look at these other teams that have already cracked that top 6, you have to start thinking, if you've had consistent placings right now, you already know you have these big... Look, VP Secret, they have a gravity. They are sponges right now for DPC points, which mathematically lowers the amount of points that you do need in the tournament. So when we look at these names, how have they already done in the previous majors needs to be something in your mind as to how far they will be able to go, how much impact the DPC points will actually have. But now our first matchup of the day is about to get ready, and it is going to be a great way to start the day. EHome versus EG. Already it's mentioned that EG may be one of these teams that you want to put you want to see them potentially take it, right? They have the chance to do it. They're doing it for NA. EHome looked great at the minor. They only dropped one game, and here today, they are trying to make that deep run. These two teams going to be taking the stage right now in the first series of the day. We are about to see 3 teams eliminated. Which ones are going to stay to play against Secret tomorrow in the final day of play at the CQ Major to try to grab not only the prize money, but the DPC points? We find out right now.
Please welcome on stage EHome. Please welcome on stage Evil Geniuses.
Our 2 teams have taken the stage. We're going to get this match started very shortly, but we're going to take a deeper look at what these guys have to offer. EG, let's talk about the weird picks that we've seen from them and what we expect to see here. EHome we'll get to in a second because I know you do want to talk about their weird drafts as well that you did see. So, EG, what do you think they were going for early on in the tournament? We saw a lot of Furion.
Yeah, they, I think, had an idea of what was going to suit Sumail and how he would fit in the team, probably coming from all the scrims and boot camp leading up to the tournament, but it's changed a lot. They got dropped down the lower bracket after getting 2-0'd by VP. Since then, we've seen kind of a new EG. A lot of OD mid, a lot more playmaking capabilities from Sumail's hero pool, whereas Arteezy, he's taken over those hard carries.
Now, EHome on the other side. You talk about how strong they were at the minor, only dropping 1 game. You talk about that game, they lose to themselves. The way that they draft, you're not a huge fan of it. At the beginning of the tournament, you were critical of so many drafts. Now that we've gotten this far, where do you sit?
I mean, they kind of identified themselves a bit more with like Visage first phases and stuff, doing that consistently, kind of like what EG did with the OD.
Yep.
But if that gets shaken up a bit, then I'm not too sure how they're going to do in the draft, because like if the Visage suddenly gets first banned, what are they going to do next?
Also, what's the EG going to do if OD's banned?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, presumably, OD is getting banned, and at least if you lose to a game 1, you're banning game 2. I don't see EG getting it more than 1 game unless if they pick at game 1 and lose, then yeah, maybe they get it.
I mean, they better have a counter prepared, because they first phase it all day long. with the partner being banned out, of course. And I'm just very curious to see what happens if both teams, like comfort heroes, get banned.
Okay, so comfort heroes are going to be the name of the game in your mind if we want to see if they get banned. At this point, suddenly these teams have a lot of research material if they want to go through, see what if EHome's been doing on the side of EG, and EHome, who's on your screen right now, they can definitely take a peek at what EG's done. I think one of the criticisms we've heard a little bit, I actually was about to say that I've done, but I should not be criticizing or analyzing anything right now. But does EG at any point feel one-dimensional to you? Have they felt like they're trying to go for one playstyle over and over again, Black?
I mean, it's certainly the same playstyle, but the way they get there is always a bit different, because they do run quite a big variety of hard carries, I think. And the way they get to late game is different for all of them. So
let's hear from EHome how they're trying to prepare for this. What are they going to try to bring against EG? They've seen what they're doing. Let's hear from EHome.
Hi guys, I'm here with Timin from team EHome. So how did past days went for your team? Maybe you can remember some particular game that was very interesting for your team.
有意思倒还好吧，就印象比较深的其实就是前天吧，可能是打秘密那个第2场嘛，输给他们印象比较深吧，因为那个感觉可能是因为有一些压力吧，就是太过于想赢那个 secret 的，所以导致自己的一些决策就是没有过多去思考，就是这个游戏该怎么进行下去会赢吧，就是打得比较没有策略吧，然后输了那场比赛，所以就是觉得挺不开心的吧，就挺后悔那场比赛没有赢下来的。
Why secret? Is it your biggest rival or something? Why it was so important for you?
因为就是我们觉得。就是现在就是世界上最好的4支战队嘛 ，VP、Liquid、Secret 和老干爹嘛，就是公认的4支比较厉害的那种顶尖一线战队嘛，就可能觉得赢了他们后，就对我们自己的一个实力定位吧，可能会有一个不一样的提升吧，就是不管是自己的实力啊，或者是自己的自信心什么方面吧，就可能会有一个比较好的提升。
Do you feel like the momentum from the Bucharest minor still helps you here at the major?
是的，因为那个就是 minor 上那个俄罗斯就独联体吧，独联体他们的那个 Gambit 那个队，其实他们的战术已经挺成熟的了，然后就是他们的战术我们可以直接就拿过来练习一下，就直接用了，就是挺好用的吧，就觉得挺符合现在的版本的，所以我们就是觉得对我们帮助挺大的吧 ，Gambit 就是去打了一次 minor 后，赢了 Gambit 后，就是对我们帮助挺大的。
All right, thank you very much for this interview. I wish you good luck at the main event.
And we learned a lot from that interview as well. And you can tell EHome definitely coming in the right mental space. They wanted to beat Secret. They wanted to kick their team up, not only in ranks, but they want to prove that they can be one of these top teams. You hear him say the top 4 teams that he thinks there are in the world, one of them no longer going to be in the tournament. They still are. EHome needs to be feeling good about that. And the question is, will they be able to get that rematch against Secret and prove that they can do it?
I don't know. They didn't prove yet that they can compete with the top dogs. They've taken out Fnatic, who looked quite
That was like
unstable.
a shakier Fnatic.
Yeah, it was shakier Fnatic. Yeah. Maybe they upgraded now.
Yep.
But EHome said they're very confident coming into this game, so we'll see how they do. But until they actually beat one of these top teams and establish themselves up there, you know, they're going to prove themselves. You can't just believe whatever they want.
They have that momentum, though. They're saying that that's going to be a positive thing coming out of Bucharest. And there's that Visage that you talked about quite a bit, Gods. That Visage just getting placed into most scenarios for them. But EG knows that they've done it at this point and can definitely try to play around it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of their key go-to strats and something EG is either going to let through on purpose and have a response for, or just ban out in the first stage. It's going to be interesting to see if teams start banning like the key core heroes like Visage OD, or if we see the target on like the top meta picks, the Earth Spirit, the Tusk, heroes like that, which have been so good, Liches, Grimstrokes. Those heroes also, ban-worthy in their own right.
So I know we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but with EG right now, if you look at EG and you say, okay, maybe we let the Visage through. It's better to know what we're going to be playing against. What would they be looking to say, okay, we let the Visage through because we lock in this? What do you think EG could think about playing here, Black?
A variety of heroes. I think a lot of hard carries are actually quite good against Visage when they get to the mid-later portion of the game, but
a lot of offlaners too, that just, the damage mitigation from like the Underlords, the Crimson Guard heroes, like your Centaurs and stuff.
Even Darkseer is really good against Visage as well. I mean, there's a lot of heroes, a lot of ways to deal with Visage, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of ways to deal with the OD as well. And VG didn't address it at all. So I just hope today, if they let the comfort heroes get through, they have a way to actually deal with it. Because yesterday I was very disappointed with how VG dealt with the first pick OD in 3 games consecutively.
Now, how do you feel about EG's performance as a whole, right? They go against VP, it's an 0-2. They go against Fnatic, it's an 0-2. They make it to the lower bracket very quickly. We talk about them thriving in that loser's bracket, going for very impressive bouts. But if you're an EG fan, are you happy with this major so far?
Not really. I think they expected a bit more. Yeah, and I think they also expected to beat VG maybe a bit easier.
Yeah, I think the woes for EG came from the start of the group stage. I think, EG is always a team held to a very high standard because of their roster and their organization, their history, being a TI winning org. So they started slow. But where EG's been yesterday and even the last day of before we came to the main event, has been a very different EG squad, basically since they lost to VP. And I feel like that EG is what people want to see.
So you think that EG is here? You are confident that the EG that can win a tournament out of the loser's bracket has arrived here at CQ?
The EG that can get top 3, I'd say. VP Secret, hard to say. I don't think anyone outside of that field of VP Secret is really showing that they're on that level yet. Definitely teams like EG, LGD, Fnatic, even EHome have the potential to be there. Just not out there yet.
We just haven't seen EG necessarily show up and just smash someone to smithereens at this moment, and you kind of
all the games they win is very close always. It's like not like a one-sided stomp, but it's also because of their playstyle. Like they don't draft to win games early.
Yeah, that's a big thing that we've talked about. Is it seems like they're almost playing outside of this 34-minute range that we expect games to go to. And when you guys were talking about the Visage, it seemed like a lot of those potential counters would fit in that strategy as well. So a big thing that we're going to be looking towards when we do get to the draft, going to be the Visage, going to be the OD, based off of what we've seen from these squads so far at our major elimination series. You know that these guys have put in the work to think about what they want to do in that first draft and actually go around the playstyle of their opponents here. Yep. Before we see the draft, though, I'm going to put you guys on the spot. Like to do it early in the morning when you're not ready, when you're not on your toes, haven't had your coffee yet. Who do you think is going to win the series? We're going to start with Black. We're going to start with Gods.
That always makes me go first. And then I got to convince Black that.
You can't convince me.
I already know my
pick.
EG is going to win 2-0, I think.
I thought EG was going to win, but not 2-0. Maybe 2-1.
But now you think 2-0.
It's funny because this morning when we first got, he was saying he thought EHome was going to win. So he's changed his mind. Yeah, you said you feel good about EHome.
I mean, I change my mind like every 10 minutes. So if you ask me again in 10 minutes,
I could convince Black of something. Like that's what's scary. I could sit down and I could tell Black something, and then his prediction would change based off of all of my years of Dota experience.
That would never happen. Never.
Yeah.
No. But if you're EHome and you're not first pick, I think you just ban Earth Spirit.
Yep.
You just ban OD. If you're first pick, you can take the Earth Spirit yourself. Don't give it the crit. They have 100% win rate for a reason. No need to give him that hero. Please.
Please.
Sir.
He's such a key player for EG that I think if you take his key heroes out, not even just the Earth Spirit, but even target the Tusk or something as well, it limits EG's playmaking ability. We saw a game yesterday where they had 3 cores with Timbersaw, S4 playing that, and their only stun was crit on Earth Spirit. And if you take away those playmaking stunning heroes that he has, suddenly it's like, well, what's actually left?
Yeah. And we also said, or at least I said, I don't think they would have actually beaten like a higher tier team with that kind of draft. Like VG kind of crumbled as well.
I do want to ask right now before we actually start talking about what we're seeing in the draft.
Yeah, ask.
We talked about some weaknesses potentially on the side of EG. S4 talked about a lot yesterday. Is this a player that you're looking at in the laning phase saying, okay, we need to see him show up?
I mean, they won a game where he died 7 times at 12 minutes.
He recovered nicely.
Yeah, he did recover.
From 0-7 to like 7-8.
He was what? That was the Doom game?
No, that was Timbersaw.
Oh, Timbersaw. Yeah, you're
I
right.
mean, his Doom also was like 0-7 though.
Yeah.
But they still won that game.
And then, yeah, the game they lost, it was, 0-9 and 2. That was one of his poor performances. But there is a common theme where, S4 is having a rough time, dying quite a bit in lane. So we'll see how he performs here.
They just go straight to the Terror Blade.
Interesting they go that over the OD. It's kind of...
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, it's because they don't have first pick.
Yeah, they feel like...
They can't ban out the Pugna.
Yeah. If they pick first 2 OD, then Pugna comes out.
Yeah. The Darks are giving us a little thumbs up. They're like, yeah, I'm picked.
Now, why would the Pugna be so strong in this matchup? I know we have been seeing that quite a bit, and we have seen it get banned out when picks like this come out. But for anyone who hasn't gotten to watch, why would the Pugna be so strong against what EG's trying to bring?
I mean, just against the OD in particular, because every time you hit someone with the orb, it costs like up to 180 mana. Then if the ward of Pugna is out, then it deals like, I don't know how much, like 200 damage every time you want to hit someone. And then of course you have the Decrepify as well. That just amps the magic damage and can save targets. Just all around, Pugna is a great hero against the OD. So you can't pick it up if you're a second pick, because EHome would have just responded with a Pugna.
So you just go ahead, bring that TB, a lot safer. We've obviously seen it perform.
Yeah. I think if EG actually has first pick, they might just go back to the OD if EHome lets it through. But we'll see about that in the next game.
I mean, if EG want OD, they can ban the Pugna and pick it. The thing is, maybe because they've got second pick, they want to use that last pick for Sumail.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
Is he Puck banned out here?
The Sumail Puck, one of the stronger heroes. I haven't seen him play it yet this tournament, I believe. But he's somewhat making a comeback after the leash change.
Yeah. ASD played an incredible Puck game.
Yeah, I mean, he also played an incredible SF game.
Yep.
He had lots of good games.
He's one of these heroes, too, that we've seen more and more frequently in the later stages of our tournament.
SF?
Puck, I was saying. Yeah, we've seen more and more Puck. Especially since we've gotten to the main event, gotten up on the main stage, we started to see him come out quite a few times.
Puck is like a fourth or maybe even last pick. If you don't have any stuns or ways to deal with him, he's so obnoxious.
They did play it once against Aster in the group stage when they won.
They won?
Yeah. I can't remember. I don't know if it was Sumail or S4 who played. I just remember seeing the
I mean, they both
draft.
love Puck. So
Yeah.
both sense.
Seems like a very smart band then coming out on the side of EHome, and that was something that we mentioned. We know that they are going to have plenty of research against EG. That was one of the reasons that we were caught slightly off guard by the OD not getting banned out. Plenty of reasons for that. Was that? Oh,
There's the Pugna ban.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Speak of the devil. There it is.
Yeah, so this is... I mean, it's a very different approach to the draft. Not so much from EG where, ban Pugna, pick OD. That's the exact same approach we've seen game after game. It's different because... they're probably one of the only teams who have last pick, and they're not last picking their mid.
Yeah. But the only stage you can do it when their second pick is actually this pick.
Yes.
So we can see they still highly prioritize the OD. It's very good with the Terror Blade. You always have a save. And, I mean, the early game might be a bit rough if OD loses his lane, but there's not too many great lane heroes against him if the partner is banned.
Yeah, what are EHome looking to pull out against this? They've left in the pool intentionally. They wanted to verse it this first game at least.
And I'm not sure. Maybe they didn't think they would pick it like that if they're not first pick. But just OD plus these position 4 roamers is so scary. If you get Astraled and the Tusk just walks next to you, you're just dead. With most of the mid heroes, at least.
Now,
I hate that combo.
Already, with just the 3 heroes that we've seen on the side of EG, I'm already hearing you say things like, yeah, the laning phase might be scary. This is just kind of a common thread that we've had with Evil Geniuses. Do you think that they try to remedy that in their next 2 picks, or do you think that they go deeper towards that strategy?
I think Aegis lanes can be quite strong, because OD by himself usually is not that good, but when you have a roamer like Tusk, as I said, you get an Astral off, and it can transition into a very easy kill. Terrorblade itself is not the strongest, but can just resort to the jungle, and they just want to leave their last pick for that offlaner, which is going to be... Yeah.
Okay, Flies Phoenix. So,
Flies Phoenix.
Again, late game. This is not a hero that excels in the early game laning stage. It's just, you've got this team fight later on. You can have a slow laning stage. You can be behind, but you have this big team fight potential that you don't mind if you're down 5k gold at 20 minutes in because you can just team fight.
Are we going to see faces Void?
With the
From
Jakiro?
EHome?
Yeah, I was wondering that. In the safe lane.
10
Yeah.
Void Jakiro, pretty common combo.
Daxia as well.
Yeah, good with the Iron Shell, and then you just get some kind of explosive mid hero. Or you could even do tiny mid. Actually, maybe not so much against the OD.
I think Void could be a good pick, although you do have a save. 2 saves.
This EG draft just seems very EG from what we expect so far throughout this tournament. We've seen the Phoenix quite a bit. We've talked about the OD at length. Is EHome trying to counter this? Well, you always bring up the glasses. This is like the first thing that Black brings up every morning.
Ready, willing,
Tinker.
and fully enabled.
It's a very early Tinker.
Well,
I mean, they have last. They don't have last pick anyway.
this is
Yeah.
basically last pick Tinker.
Yeah.
It's no different. So this is their lane / game response to OD as well as, I mean, it's a TB counter, so...
They should get rid of the Beastmaster, I think. Because Beast is one of the best offlaners against Tinker. If anything else is great against him on the offlane.
5
Fuck his band
seconds
out.
remaining.
Kind of heard the crowd there too for a second cheer when the Tinker did get locked in.
Bust out some clockwork, you know?
I mean,
That's for clock.
it's possible.
It really is. It's not like the worst option here.
Yeah. But I think Beastmaster would be their preferred option if they can get it.
This is their first time playing Tinker at this tournament, or even they didn't play it at all in the minor either. So
Yeah, they
it'll
didn't.
be
Yeah.
interesting to see how they fare with it.
When I mentioned Earth Spirit being one of these heroes that you really want somebody to be skill capped on, I feel like you guys have said that about Tinker, but even further, like when you see a Tinker, do you need to see certain players on it? Do you need to see a player who has played Tinker at length? What is it about this hero that makes it difficult to play?
The difference between like a really high level Tinker and just a good Tinker player, I think, is pretty significant. It's
Mostly positioning, I think.
Yeah, positioning, but also, I mean, the mechanics too. Like the way you have to use spells and items faster than probably almost any other hero in Dota is pretty unique to Tinker.
Yeah.
And all those small things add up and can make a big difference. So you can still get away with just like a solid, good Tinker player, and maybe that's enough to win you games. But there is a big difference between those really exceptional players.
Do you think we have an exceptional Tinker player on the side of EHome, or is this just a pick based off the draft?
We can't say because he never played it before.
Yeah.
But I assume they wouldn't just pick it if he is not confident in playing it.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. So we'll see. He hasn't played it before in the minor or the major, so
10 seconds.
I'll be happy to be surprised.
Definitely want to take a look at this Tinker in the game.
5
Yeah.
seconds
But all in all,
remaining.
eHome's lineup, is it a direct answer to what Evil Geniuses has done in the most Evil Geniusy way that we've seen so far in this tournament?
So I do ban out the Beast.
Geniuses.
And Leshrak.
No one.
Leshrak, we saw for the first time yesterday.
That is so weird. The carry Leshrak then. And a mid Tinker. Offlane Daxia. That lineup is so weird.
Huh.
I thought a Void would be much more stable. I mean, they do ban out the Beast against the Tinker.
Why?
of
Yeah,
course.
Leshrek's. They're like doubling down on dealing with this TB. Like, here's another magic damage nuking hero.
But TB doesn't even... I mean, TB shreds Leshrak.
Yes.
If you're not super farmed.
Perhaps it's more about the lane, but even for Leshrak, you don't have like the best setup for your stun in the laning stage if you're going for some kind of like aggro trial.
I mean, you have an Avalanche, I guess. The new Avalanche is quite annoying. Like,
That's
you can't
true.
actually move.
Yep.
And they definitely want to go aggro trial against a Terrorblade. Put the Darks here against... it is the clock.
It's the clock. That's good. Maybe our first clock of the tournament. EG.
It is.
Yeah.
Just keep busting out new
I think
heroes.
it's the second one, maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah, clock direct counter to the Tinker. We said if Beast gets banned, they would most likely lock in the clock.
Wee Black, you're taking credit for my suggestion now.
What?
You are always right.
The royal
sorry.
we.
Yeah,
royal
we said this.
We are one.
That's I always feel like I say we too, and I'm like, yeah, we thought. Like, I feel great.
we had a panel.
yeah, we are one.
We are one.
Yeah, I feel like
I'm sorry, I need to be a better team player, Black. We did say that.
We did say that.
Yeah, I'm kind
We also said that with
Bambi.
Bambies.
You want in on this wee, Rich?
Yeah, right. I mean, I've been saying we quite a bit, but what do we think right now of the draft? All in all, a few things catching us by surprise. Second Leshrak, potentially the second Clockwork as well. So, gods, what do you think?
EG's so much in their comfort zone. I think the Clockwork, while being a kind of new hero for them, is so perfect this game. It counts the Tinker. It's great against Leshrak. It's just a perfect fit for this draft. I think overall I like EG a bit better with the draft.
1-0 EG.
Okay, all right. That's what we're going to say. A very interesting draft. Let's jump into the first game of the day.
Man, we are ready to kick off the day. EG versus EHome. The world is alive. The crowd is alive. And Kyle, we're alive, ready to cast this game.
Oh, yeah, I'm hyped, man. This is a series I've been looking forward to a lot. Obviously, EG, the hope of NA, the pride of NA, the last team remaining in the tournament.
Yeah. And also some European imports into the team as well.
Don't talk about that.
Oh, sorry. EG, fantastic North American brand, but they're going up against EHome, the team that comes out of the minor. They've played really, really hard. They played very convincingly through this, and now they find themselves not in the first round out in the lower bracket. Like, they're pushed through a very long way, and they look like a really good team. Yeah. And they're a very young team as well, Carl. These guys are not old.
Yeah, this team probably best represents the future of China. Ego, their carry, 17. ASD, the mid player, 19. Faith Beyond and Innocence, they won TI6. They're still both 20, and their oldest player is actually the new guy, Tian Ming, who's 22. So, like,
the average age is just under 20 years old for this team.
Whereas, as we've been saying, EG, like, vets. If you think of a team, like, obviously Sumel's still a young kid, but like this, they've been around forever. They've been playing at international events. In S4 Tal's case, for near a decade at this point, going all the way back to Heroes of Newerth. So this is a team with a lot of experience. EHome with a lot to prove. Already top 6 at this tournament. Yep. Best placement of anyone who's won a minor thus far. Yeah. Although it is only his second major.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of sample size for that one. Naha's probably just rolled over on Dota for a bit. How do you actually like the draft coming in here from EHome? Because EG picked up kind of exactly what we thought they would pick up. The only kind of like weird curveball which fits this draft perfectly is the Clockwork for S4, an old school staple hero of his. But how do you like it against EHome? Going for one of your favorite heroes, the Lashrak, and the combination with everything else.
Well, it's funny. I was talking some shit with Bulba just before this went live, and he was laughing about how EHome is like the complexity gaming of China, and they're going to run at you. They're going to play for more of the mid game, and they typically just want to smash you into oblivion and take your towers, your racks by like 25 minutes or so, 30 minutes. And we're thinking of all these ideas, something maybe a PL, a drought. EHOM's just like, nah, we're going to double down, run this no carry setup, and bank on their ability to just take total map dominance around that Tinker.
Hey, you say no carry. We've seen a lot of power coming in from the Tinkers. Of course, we have also seen that in combination with Soulbind, but it's the Tinker running the safe lane for Ego, and we've actually got ASD taking the Lashrak towards the mid. So, as most people would predict, the lanes switch up.
I mean, I don't know if anyone's predicting a safe lane Tinker coming out, but I love the 22-pick clock from EG. It's incredibly good against the entire EHome draft. They need 4 staff, and that's a big timing for just the way they want to play the game, really. You can't take an engagement against EG if S4 is on point. Yesterday, bit of a rough day. Look for him to have a lot more impact on a hero that doesn't need as much time as like these Beastmasters and Doom to come online. He'll be level 6, and he's able to kill anyone he wants on the side of EHome.
But at the same time, like, you go up against the 3-position Darkseer. Tiny and Darkseer are going to do their normal creep skip on bottom. Hey, this time S4's not going to burn his TP. He's actually going to walk the lane, in fact, clogging him up. But this kind of helps EHome, because the creeps will remain exactly where they are, so they will burn out before they even reach the tower. And Clockwork's not great at sitting underneath this tower. In fact, even with the Iron Shells, they can just keep walking next to S4, cause him some problems, but keep your eyes on the other lanes too. It's an aggressive try lane from EG on top.
I would say this lane setup favors EG. You're going to be shutting down the Tinker, and Terrorblade's going to have a couple of free waves. Expect the Tusk or the Tiny to rotate towards top. However, bottom lane, yeah, you can pressure a clock, but I would argue that S4 is going to use that net worth advantage a lot better, just because you just need a couple of core items. You hit level 6, and now you're a force on the map. That Leshrac mid, the Tinker top, S4 can go wherever he wants. Darkseer, not that same type of hero. He's more about slow and steady pressure. He needs his allies to help him make plays.
Yep. But he's just going into the jungle for the moment. They blocked up the camp he wants to pull to and free farm up, but we're watching Faith Beyond getting a double stack of the creeps. Not something he can easily farm by himself, but is giving this 1v1 matchup of Tiny versus the Clockwork, which is another fun matchup. Let's make it a triple stack, because 1 and 2 is not enough, but up on top lane, Innocence being forced back through the tree line. He'll go for a return dual breath on Crit and Fly. But Ego, he's still only a level 1 Tinker. Not a lot of burst damage to arrive from him, but Innocence is creating the space against Fly.
Yeah, so this is a cool trade. EHome is saying, like, the Tiny stays bottom to prevent S4 from pulling waves to that hard camp, which would slow down, it slows down his acceleration. But what you're doing is also then sacking your top lane. You actually move the Tinker towards bottom, but this is a level 3 Clockwork already. Really curious movement from EHome.
Yeah, and even Faith Beyond, his timing in the mid lane was a little bit wrong. He dragged 2 of the creeps back. I don't know if he's trying to mess with Sumail, but thanks to the 2 Observer Wards that were placed down by EG, they see any kind of movement off the bottom lane into mid. And now there's a tri-lane on bottom. Man, S4, he's going to start this game the way he started the series yesterday, being hunted down by the opposition. But the Cogs, this is why Clockwork's so damn good. He creates such space, and they just walk it off. Tuskar, as well as Phoenix, have already rotated to bottom lane. So if EHome force the issue, they could pay for it.
This is something a lot of teams have been theory crafting. You know, what offlaner can go to his safe lane into this disadvantageous 2-on-1 or 3-on-1 matchup and still
Jumps
succeed?
forward, the Ice Path from Innocence catching out to Ego. Well, toss him back, and this is where EHome can win the positional battle at least.
I gotta feel like this favors EG. Like, top now, you have a free farm Terrorblade, and Faith Beyond still with the shenanigans.
They're going in after Ego. They know that the Tinker can't move away, but that's why Jakiro is there. Ice Path, that's his last ability he can cast. There's no mana left for anything else. But this free farming Terrorblade, you got him, but again, you're seeing Faith Beyond doing his little pull through. He's grabbing the creep wave and causing more problems. And then they just let the mid matchup to go, which is 18-1 to the 22-4. That's a pretty close lane for the mid because no one else can influence it. They're all too busy fighting on the side lanes.
This is one thing, regardless of meta, I think that a lot of viewers, fans, and probably IceFrog are content with the state of the game where mid is now that pure 1v1 most of the time.
Yep.
It just feels like Dota games are better when the mid players have this opportunity to really strut their stuff. Not that, you know, remember when there were just 3 heroes mid the whole game?
I remember when Lich Sacrifice was a thing. Oh, they've sacrificed a creep. The mid lane's already completely imbalanced now.
Yeah, this is a bit weird from EHome, though, because they're the ones on the clock. Like, they don't actually have any sort of right-click carry.
Wow, Faith Beyond. I love this from him. He plays Darkseer the way Universe used to play Darkseer. Like, obviously, without the creep skipping kind of thing, but aggressive up in the face and actually go for the kills. Doesn't matter if you're alone. He'll take a 1v1 against a Terrorblade, who, even though he's got Metamorphosis, doesn't have Sunder. There's pressure that can be applied. Clockwork on bottom lane. They're looking for a kill onto Innocence, trapping him inside the cogs, but with the support of Ego, it won't come to anything.
Ego's, however, level 2, and EG may look to dive here. You don't have Battery Assault for a few moments, so he should be, he'll be fine. He's actually just going to pull the creeps behind tower.
That's even perfect for Jakiro to back off. He's going to stack, and this way is solo experience for the Tinker.
Exactly. Tinker needs his XP. This is the hero that's got a snowball. Both Lesh and Tinker, they love having this nice start. XP-dependent heroes more so than gold. And whenever you can get free waves like that when you're behind.
Faith Beyond with the confidence underneath a Metamorphosis Terrorblade stands his ground. So EHome will claim 3 of the 5-minute bounty runes.
The Fly places a nice word on mid, so they will notice ASD running towards that top shrine. Good efficiency as Faith Beyond's also farming up some jungle camps. They'll both utilize that.
I like that little tip from ASD. It's like, hey, Sumail, like, I appreciate everything you do. Later on, I'll crush you.
But for
bottom
now,
lane, you've actually got Tuskar starting the initiation. Jakiro arrives, double Ice Path. They're fighting inside the Master Machines. It's not good for EG because there's more support arriving. It's Tiny, in through the rear, tossing back S4. This should be the first blood. Cogs create space, but ASD arrives. It'll connect with the Lightning. Tiny's not done just yet. The Avalanche trying to buy some time for the Ice Path to connect. EHome with 4 heroes on the bottom lane. Claim 2 kills to open up day 2 of the main event.
I love the way Innocence, or well, Y plays his Jakiro. You see a lot of the time, pubs, inexperienced players, they prioritize the Liquid Fire, but both of Jakiro's active abilities are so strong. That level 1 Ice Path, the range, that just 1 second little interrupt disable, that's what actually secures the kill. He's going to be a force in this game. The support Jakiro, you don't even need that many levels, and your Q does 400 damage, 5 seconds slow, attack speed slow, very good against heroes like OD Terrorblade.
Just a great synergy with the rest of EHome, and that's able to buy more space. See a new record up for Faith Beyond. No surprise there. Vanguard rushed at 6.5 minutes in, and they do little to no damage to that Darkseer, but he does have mana problems when he does this. There's no Soul Ring on this Darkseer just yet.
And what was surprising to me is that the OD was untouched. Like, it's the, what, 4th game in a row now over 2 days? Sumel's playing OD. 5th, actually. He played it in their last match against Thunder Predator, too, and they just give it to him. And yeah, the Tinker is a suitable counter. Yep. The Leshrac last pick is just very surprising to me. We'll probably be breaking that down whether EHome win or lose this game because it was a ballsy move.
It's the way you look at it, right? It's EHome going, okay, we know what EG's going to pick up. At least we can try and counter against that. The heroes don't have to be obvious, but as long as they got a game plan.
And so far, it's working out. You got Faith Beyond with a great start. My concern is just Ego's Tinker. Yep. I have not seen a side lane Tinker in like years.
It's like he's just playing catch up, which the Tinker can do if he's able to farm up some stacks, and they do have 2 stacks in 2 different camps along the bottom.
Here's your concern, though, because now you have a smoke and a level 6 clock. This Tinker is food if he gets caught out.
They're wrapping around the back, looking for the Tinker. Level 6 clock, as you said, going to look for the hook in, waits for it, Ego, jukes it up, and they turn their attention over towards Innocence. He's looking to get the Ice Path off, but just so heavily interrupted, they're tossing and throwing around S4 with the Master Machines creating space. And EG, they got a kill, but it's not the one they wanted, but it still puts them on the board.
And that right there is why Clock is such a good hero in this game. Multiple heroes are unable to get any spells off. Jakiro, notably, as you can see, if you're tanking a battery to the face, you cannot cast abilities.
Great scout out. Tiny, seeing the clockwork, as well as Tuskar moving into the mid lane. They were looking for the hook shot onto Leshrac. Yep. They also have the Observer and Sentry on the bottom lane that watches that movement out too. Difficult for EG to make the most of this clockwork, but isn't this what's meant to happen? Like, clockwork rotates and you find kill after kill.
Yep, I mean, it's easy, and there isn't the same pressure you would typically see on clock picks where, you know, it kind of all-ins your early game. In this scenario, EG, they're confident. Phoenix scales so well, the Tusk save, OD, Terrorblade, like, you have no qualms about bringing this game to the 30-40 minute mark. Clock is perfect, and again, you can hunt everything on the enemy side. It's the dream game for S4.
He's thinking about going for the Tiny. The stacking still continues for the Tinker, so he's looking for his farm there while Tiny just contests the Radiant stack. But this is going to be big now for Ego. The fact that the smoke gang fell, there was no aggressive vision that went down. He needs this money, but he can't layer on double Master Machines until now. Soul Ring arrives, rearm is up. Now he can finally get the money and the levels. And I guess he's getting a lot more space in mid than I thought he would.
It's partly because Sumel, he's like felt the pressure. A lot of heroes been missing, so he's just farming the jungle. Already has the treads up. He'll be going for that Yasha Kaya build again. I like that a lot more than the Midas. He's actually talking to him about that, and I think that this is the way to build OD, and he's kind of demonstrating, yeah, he thinks so too.
But it does mean that you get a net worth advantage. Just slipping the way of the Leshrac, sitting at almost the same net worth as the Terrorblade. They're both hovering around the 4.5k mark, where you got 4.2k for Sumail. It's a little bit behind. The 10-minute bounty rune contest gets to happen once again. EHome, they should already get, okay, they're going to get all 4 bounty runes. That is huge for them. The Ice Path goes down, but already Tiny to the toss. A little bit of missed synergy, allowing now the hook shot to come forward from S4. He'll close the distance and trying to deny to the Ancients. Will not be in time. S4's battery assault kills off Tiny.
Yeah, well executed, and that is something we should expect. Every time hooks off cooldown, S4 can look to find kills. It just simplifies the game state for EG.
Oh, a little bit off.
Arteezy's going to be the one passively farming. Sumail is going to look to get a bit more involved, but also just worried about accelerating his own game. S4, he's just head on a swivel, constantly going to look for targets around the map, try and establish map dominance for EG. As you said, Faith Beyond having a good game. You can see what he's going for next. He recognizes, look, I had this super fast Vanguard Arcanes, but Force Staff is a necessity. That'll be what he grabs. And look, Leshrac as well, doing the exact same thing. You typically would see like a Yules first, but it's just so value to have a Force Staff in this game against Tusk and Clock.
Yeah, it's kind of funny considering the series we cast yesterday, where there was no counter to any kind of big control, especially against the Tuskers. But it's looking a lot better for itemization this game. EHome do have a small advantage, about 1.5k in the gold, even though EG have the 500 in experience. So this game very, very close, and kind of what at least viewers would have been hoping for, depending which part of the world you're from.
Yeah, mid they've got Dota. Yeah, they're going to force TPs. So Fly tomed up. They're ready to go. Hook's off cooldown as well.
He's looking for it, but already the attack in from Tiny. Tosses available, throwing him back underneath the tower.
Fly.
Into the Pulse Nova. Not where S4 wanted to be. The Phoenix Sun does come out. They all got hit by the sprites, so they can't attack fast enough. Imprisonment from Sumail is actually going to at least buy time for Jakiro to walk away from this, but it will still not be enough. The shards are blocking up. Innocence can't walk out, but at least he can get the ice path down, so Fly will die in the back lines. This looked actually pretty clean at the start from EG, but it ended up being a 2-for-2 trade-off. But you do get Latrak.
Not the best trade for EG. They wanted to probably have a bit of a better fight off that egg. They used a lot of big cooldowns there, all ultimates expended, but Artior is just farming top freely, and sure, you're just not afraid when the Darkseer is the hero on the enemy side that's the most farmed. It is a lot of space for Ego, who's been quiet for the last 10 minutes. He's just walking through the woods, farming stacks, trying to get those bots up, 700 gold away. But you got to be happy. EG, trades benefit you. You're the team with the Terrorblade OD. You're going to get a point where you have BKB on both your cores, and I look at the side of EHome and think, well, how in the hell are you going to do any damage to either of these guys?
Latrak sustain kind of comes from the, Tinker being able to create space. Is that even the way I want to say that? And we were actually debating as well, if this is one of those games where Tinker actually builds into an Aghanim Sept, you get that mischance to allow Latrak.
Oh, he forced forward.
The survivability is, S4 now will phase boot away. Does show the 4-staff of ASD.
I'm going to look to do something here. You have a Darkseer hasting himself forwards. They're looking for S4, but he's got 4 heroes chasing him.
Avalanche will connect. He's got hookshot available. They need to get in front of him, or else he'll just hookshot away to safety, or he can just cog on the high ground. But the back pulls him back down again. Now S4's cogs block him in, but the hookshot, exactly as we were saying. S4 goes up and away. You knew it was going to be a hard fight.
Yeah. The thing is, even if you kill S4 there's no objective pressure. Mid is at your own tower. The top wave is now being taken out by ASD, but it's just a low EV move, because the best case scenario is you find 1 kill, but it's 4 heroes chasing him. That actually swings the gold back in EG's favor, because you've got 2 cores just hard farming as S4 leads them on a merry chase.
So PTs are up for Ego. Or the side lane pressure which EG's been having starts to be a little bit more restricted. So how hard does EG want to push? Your Terrorblade's farming up, but you need to remove Tier 1 towers to control more of the map, because so far, no Tier 1 towers gone down.
Look at Arteezy. He's farming in his own jungle with the meta pops. He has no intention of leaving his side of the map for quite some time, and you're not pressured if you're EG. This is really just an easy game to script out. You just don't let EHome crush through your buildings. Don't make the same mistake you did yesterday in Game 1 against Vici Gaming. Let your buddy die, all right? He respawns. This ain't life. It's Dota. And at some point, you get your BKBs, and you can look to take a big engagement around Roche, which another concern I have with EHome is that they don't have that ability. You can't take Roche in this game unless 2 or 3 heroes minimum from EG are off the field.
Yep. And you're even more right with the BKBs. This is one of these games where if you had the old Husker, you'd be a very happy man. So much magical damage coming in from EHome that you start to wonder, how do they really hit hard once those BKBs arrive?
Look at Arteezy's farm. Sumail as well. They're accelerating fast. This is good if you're an EG fan, and they're going to take top tower uncontested, just continuing to mirror the movements of EHome. They sniff out that, hey, they're going to be making this play on bottom, and we've seen this probably a few thousand times over the history of Dota.
A Tier 1 for a Tier 1 tower trade on opposite sides of the map.
Yep.
Both teams not looking for the fight, even though EG right now feels a lot more equipped to take it. The Clockwork and the Tusker with the double braces are so tanky, they can be on the front lines. Even Phoenix is approaching the double bracer.
Yeah, exactly, and you also don't really have much in the way of burst damage to kill this Fly Phoenix before he gets that egg off. And then you don't have anyone that's going to click the egg. You
got no one to initiate. You may have the burst damage from the Tinker from range, but without Tiny having that Blink Dagger, they can't even initiate forward. The push is continuing on top lane. Metamorphosis is down. But Arteezy just sends his illusions forward. Keep the creep wave off. Tinker, he'll have to play from inside the tree line. There's multiple TPs coming in. Arteezy now begins his back off as Faith Beyond will join the defense.
I love this, though. If you watch, they not only have a ward on the shrine, but look at how Crit and S4 were playing this. They know as long as we maintain presence on this dire shrine, Arteezy only has to fear the tower TPs.
That invis, he can get the initial stun, turns on the Pulse Nova. Crit and S4 will tank it. The Darkseer wall is down. Snowball save, in fact, moves them forward towards the Tinker, doing heavy damage. The Clockwork will hook away. Crit will die fly. A nice position on the other side of the river gave S4 that get out jail free card.
Yeah, well played. Nice communication from Tal there on the Phoenix, just ensuring that his buddy has that get out of jail free card. The second time we've seen S4 narrowly escape. And if you check it out, EG, they recognize what's going on. That was a BKB just completed by Arteezy. We're at barely 17 minutes into the game, and you've already got a massive issue with this Arteezy TB. Tiny on the pursuit, though. Don't think he'll catch Fly.
I just love the itemization from Arteezy. Like, to go for a BKB and not the Manta style, to not just try and say, hey, this is a split push game.
And not just that, you can't interrupt the BKB teleport either. There's no way to stop him from getting off a teleport. Asunder, he's going to be able to save himself.
You don't have enough physical damage to kill him before the TP completes.
They may look to just give up mid-tower, and they will. But, you know, Arteezy shoving bottom, Sumail clearing the enemy jungle after pushing his creep wave all the way to that top EHome tier 2. You're still cool with this? Yeah? You know, it's an even game, but an even game is not how EHome are looking to close this one out. You've got to get moving fast, and they're at a point where their draft will spike. There's bots up on Tinker. He just finished his blink. Tiny also has a blink. It's go time. And you could theoretically kill Artur before he pops that BKB, but you've got to be quick and you've got to be careful. You are against double save on the side of EG, the Snowball and the Astral.
They're seeing Crit just twitching on the other side of the river. Double damage. Pick up, toss him back underneath the ice path. Snowball's down. They kind of got to stay in the ice path to get the stun, but it will not happen. Crit, Vac back and controlled. Support is nearby, but it will not be rendered. And this is just EG doing as you said. Let him die.
Let him die. They're doing great so far. Crit not exactly having the performance we saw in his Earth Spirit yesterday, but this is a different kind of game. He's the space maker. He is a walking ward. He's just trying to ensure that his cores don't feel the pressure that he is tanking.
It's actually kind of like a fun build to watch in from ASD with a Latrak. So he's going in for a Bloodstone. That's some heavy regeneration. Once that Eclipse hits, he can get his life back again pretty quickly. S4 just walks out with a cog.
What?
He was looking for divine intervention because that's the only thing that would have saved him at that point.
That was a bit of an odd maneuver. Felt like he could pressure the Lesh, but you know there was a Force Staff available too. Didn't expect the +1 from the Tiny, but you know there was no one else showing on the map.
Probably thought he had Crit closer. Like Crit was nearby, but Crit's also still looking to farm up. He's actually building for a full pipe, so trying to negate a heavy amount of the damage from EHome.
And EG do have to play a calculated game because you are up against a Tinker. He's always going to have an easier time ensuring lanes are shoved. And if you make a couple mistakes, all of a sudden EHome is going to be off map and just pressuring your side without anyone needing to deal with this Terrorblade illusion spam because you can just throw down one TP from Ego and suddenly the wave's going back towards EG side of the map, which is why I like this warding. You see two defensive wards on their own high grounds up in this top Radiant Shrine area that not only defends Roche, but like you can even see that you have a triangle actually around Roshan and the next objective they expect EHome to go for.
I still wonder when someone's going to start to de-ward this Observer ward from EG. It's not the first time we've seen them place it. Inside the dire jungle, they just see this deeper camp, and it's a consistent ward for them, but all 3 sentry wards that were planted down from EHome do miss it. The bounty runes happen once again, and EHome once again will claim all 4 bounties. This is the second time this has now happened for a team that's meant to have map control.
Artur got 1.
He got 1?
Yeah.
Okay, so 3. They got 3.
They probably could have been a bit more aggressive, but again, you don't know what's going on in the team comms. And if I'm EG, if I'm Bulba, I have looked at this draft and told my team, look guys, don't do anything really stupid, all right? We can do this.
They're checking Roshan. EHome are worried about it. Leshrak's pushing in the bottom lane in the meantime. He's going to TP towards the mid because Avalanche.
Oh,
No! He got the melee creep that was
Here comes
with
EG.
clockwork. And EG are looking for the counter initiation. You know, EHome don't want a bar of this. They just got the Bloodstone completed on the Leshrak.
Yeah, this is a power spike for EHome. You got to be careful if you're EG. You've got your ults up. You want to take a good fight here, but there's a Crimson Guard mech on the Darkseer.
Movement forward. Hawkshot in from S4. Cleans up the line by putting the cogs down, but the 4 stars from EHome allow the repositioning. Ego's getting the Master Machines down, the Ice Path and the Macro Pyre, not to mention the Darkseer wall. It's causing problems for Evil Geniuses. They want to back up. The BKBs have been expended, and Jakiro is the only one to die, and he buys back, looking for the fight to continue. Here's your jump forward with a Sunder in from Martese, combining with the Eclipse and Snowball. All of EG are taking the Uber try all the way to the Tier 1 tower, killing off the Jakiro for another dieback. Tiny down as well. Leshrak's finding the back lines, but he's low on mana. Darkseer is pretty much out of it, so EG turn their attention to that mid-Tier 1 tower. Huge fight for EG. Massive Sunder for Arteezy. Oh, Leshrak, are you really forcing this? Tinker Rockets are flying in. He's keeping the spam up, but no one's low enough to die.
And you can see EG, you got to be careful about these long engagements. When their BKBs are up, they have no fear. As they fade, you can see Faith Beyond Chasing gets a sick back off, and that's that tiny stun. It's one of the easiest spells to BKB because of that quarter-second delay before you're actually incapacitated. And Arteezy just like, up, casual. I have no more damage taken anymore. Gets the free Sunder off. You get Tier 1 tower mid. Well executed, and that's what EG wants to do. Trade your BKBs and big cooldowns. Get some sort of established pressure on the map. Take the engagement, and then go back to your own side and farm up.
And Tiny's going to be pissed.
Yeah.
That
so
fight
close.
would have been so different if the toss back came on S4.
And they use the Leshrak Bloodstone cooldown as well, of course. Bear in mind the change and no longer
sacrifice
yourself. Yeah, it actually just heals you. But it does cost a ton of mana, which is why it's a strange item to see on Lesh nowadays, because if you use it too early in a fight, often you're going to run out of mana, especially if you do what ASD did, where he actually put that second point into his ultimate early on. I prefer to keep it level 1 for quite some time because you end up having mana issues, especially, you know, you take a couple OD headshots from the orb, pop the Bloodstone, all of a sudden you've got maybe 3 spells to cast.
Maybe this is also the answer. Like, then again, Sumail, he's now going in for the Kaya. We're not seeing the amplification just yet, but it's the effect of this Andy's Eclipse. You get hit so hard from this, how's Leshrak meant to stand on the front lines if he doesn't have that life? But because now, how is he meant to do damage? A full pipe is completed on crit. There's support, tanky as hell, and now going to help provide protection for all of EHome.
And this is where I like what EG did. When they have the Phoenix, you have a Tusk. Both these heroes have GPM talents, and they both love utilizing items. So it doesn't matter that S4 is so far behind his enemy offlaner.
EHome has to run. That's a double damage Terrorblade with a BKB Metamorphosis ready to rock. The DD is wearing off, and Faith Beyond's the only one giving the fight potential, but EHome, they smoke up themselves. Tinker's nearby, his Kaya is ready, and maybe now.
Oh, EG.
There's the smoke to break. They know they're up the hill. Ice Path, it doesn't do anything. The BKBs come up from EG way too quickly, and EHome have to go on a full retreat. Double BKBs. This has to be more of a fight, but inside the Master Machine's not where they want to be. The Supernova is down, so Fly will be able to survive. He was low on life. He had no other choice but a big ultimate being dropped. The double BKBs down. They wanted to go for Roshan. EG may have to think twice about it. In fact, EHome even smoke. They want to keep this going.
Tinker is powerful. He's got a Kaya. He went for the Spell Amp talent. He's going Ags next. This is the full DPS AoE Tinker build.
They're running top.
Arteezy's in trouble.
He's too far away. He doesn't have BKB available. He can't even TP out this if he wanted to. Up through the trees. The Tinker needs to keep the vision up. Sunder gives him the life. Oh, the damage! Ego's going to die! Arteezy, he does have options. Support's coming in from Tusker. How long can he live through this? 17-1 charges. Not long enough. Into the trees. The Pulse Nova will bring him down. So ASD finds the kill. Ice Path gonna miss. Same with the Dual Breath. So Crit will be able to walk off any kind of aggression.
Love the pipe from Crit as well. This time EG is going to collect 3 bounty runes. Suddenly they seem to be much stronger. I cannot believe our Torv actually found that kill on Ego. That's the big timing for EHome, is that Ag Scepter on the Tinker. All of a sudden, 4 rockets, lasers bouncing through everyone.
It's like Ego didn't believe that Artur would come out of the tree line and try and run out that way, so he's just got caught flat-footed for a Tinker. That's death.
Hey, really good heads-up play by Artur. He was getting a lot of flack from the community yesterday, although they give that to pretty much everyone. And he recognizes laser on cooldown. You pop that to try and DPS me down. He finds the aggro Sunder and just chases to find the kill.
Bottom lane, the setup's there. Avalanche forward, S4 tossed up. They have the damage with the stun control, and they body block him out, so there's no hook shot available to get away to safety. The creep wave was coming in, but it still would have been a pretty hard one. So another good pick off from EHome. Buys the space. The game is still in no one's favor. It's 1,000 gold and experience close together.
And EHome, you can see the way they're itemizing and how they want to play this game. They already have 2 Force Staffs. You've got bots now on the Leshrac, a Blink on Faith Beyond. It's all about pace. They want to just sweep the map constantly. Tinker can deal with lanes. The other 4 heroes constantly looking for fights. Pop those BKBs from EG, work them down to 5 seconds, and then the amount of time they need to stall the engagements is going to decrease as this game continues.
Can someone deward this Observer Ward finally? Like, entire jungle, they continuously replace it. Doesn't block the camps, but it watches when Tinker is farming up.
And I like this from Crit. Just he has the pipe. S4 going for the Vlads into Blade Mail. Blade Mail, very effective against Tinker because it makes it...
Crit.
It's hit or miss whether you can rearm into immediate blink if a Blade Mail target is standing in your March of Machines because you're constantly bombarded with those tiny ticks of damage.
True. Just liking the way Crit played that with a little bit of extra information. He walks down the river and not just straight down the lane and into the dire vision. Able to avoid the EG gank. Avoid the EHome gank.
Ayasha finished on Sumail, going for the Dragonlance next, probably into a Hurricane Pike at some point.
S4. Rocket reveals the Tinker, but Tinker completed his TP out only just in time.
S4, and you can even see, look at Fly, he's doubled down. He bought a Midas. I think he finished that like post 20 minutes, but you just don't care because if you're EG, you know, like, it's so much easier to kill a Tinker than it is for your enemy to kill your Terrorblade. Just the way this game functions. EHome, you have a couple Force Staff, sure, but there's no hard save like an Astral, like a Snowball.
Yep.
And it's S4, like, you can't itemize against this. If he finds the Tinker, he's in trouble and isolated. That's the real target for EG. The Leshrac as well of ASD. Going to start dealing some heavy damage. Expect him to get that level 20 Pulse Nova damage talent. Already 3 points in his ult. He'll start doing 230 a tick once he skills that up. He's going to be going for BKB next. Butterfly finished on Artur, so he's just going to accelerate even faster. Roche eventually will become an objective here, but it's so difficult for either team to fight the enemy in the pit if they're grouped up in a choke point.
Yep.
So wait for a more considerable advantage, a numbers advantage specifically, if you're EG.
It's just side lane pressure. Tier 2 for Tier 2 tower. As far as trying to keep the Tinker on his toes, always that Clockwork rocket out. This is the primary reason why the Clockwork was the 5th pick from EG. They needed a catch against the Tinker. And how many times have we also seen this? Tiny sitting on the bottom lane, just mopping up the creep waves, always adding side lane pressure. Faith Beyond's taking care of the mid. And eventually EG will want to come high ground, but up against a Tinker, even like Tinker and Lightning, it's so difficult to do. And right now, it's EHome who's winning the Tier 3 damage battle.
Yep. And you can see the difference in just concept. EG running more of a obviously a 2-core lineup, 2-3. EHome with 3 cores and then, you know, a 4 and a very poor 5. Both supports of EG, thanks to the Midas, the GPM talents, they're going to scale. So sure, S4, like, his net worth has been pretty static, but he's got his core items up. He has no problem with rich supports in a game like this. And it's more space for the Sumail and Arteezy dual core.
Oscar's been forced back, thanks to Observer and Sentry Ward up on the hillside. This tiny Shadow Blade will not be able to catch up more, but the Observer and Sentry from Dire side will be able to see Terrorblade, but they want to find Clockwork. Toss him back in. Perfect ice path. There will be the problematic of that Blade Mail of Clockwork, but they just tank through it.
Yep.
and find the kill. A quick D-ward, but the Darkseer wall creates the illusions. Terrorblade wanting to walk away. He's got BKB available. The Ice Path's already connected Terrorblade on the Half-Life. Remember that Sunder BKB. They need to burst him down, and now he'll BKB. Looking for a Sunder target. It's going to be the Darkseer, Faith Beyond. The support is moving in. Tinker TPing to the Shrine. These BKBs, they're wearing out quickly because they bought him so early. They're force-stopping forward. They still want the Terrorblade. No Sunder, no BKB. Tiny, toss him up in the air. The Ice Path won't connect, but maybe with Leshrac in the middle of the fight. Defensive imprisonment is doing the work, and Tusker creates space in the back line. He's got the space created and the shard block up. They will not want to force it any further. Tiny dies, and you manage to keep Arteezy alive on the whole of EHome, chasing him to kill him. What objective they had.
That was a confident move by Arteezy. He pops the BKB and doesn't teleport out immediately as he could have. Instead, choosing to trust his teammate, Sumail coming through with the clutch Astral just before the Lesh stun connected. And that's the issue. Once you're Astral defensively, and then the egg is on top, if you're EHome, it's indefensible. You cannot continue trying to assault EG's backlines because they're just too powerful. The turnaround potential of a Tusk and a Clock catching you off guard,
the double save.
Blink on OD ready.
Oh, hook shot's out, and you'll say goodbye to Innocence. TB the try is being cancelled.
I like this item from Sumail now. All of a sudden, he can find himself on top of whatever target S4 gives him. Be that the Jakiro now, but later in this game.
Surging. Tiny forward. He's not underneath the sentry wall. They've got their own sentry. Now he is visible, and he jumps in. Double avalanche. They need a combination. The stun with the fact with the BKBs from Sumail come off. He's got Eclipse available. He can just drop it on the heads to the north if he wants to find the kill, but he doesn't have the vision to play with. Now his BKB will wear off. Defensive imprisonment. Is there a follow-up stun? Leshrac preps it. The Ice Path, but that's Sumail. He blinks away. Crip will go into the snowball. That may be able to make more space in the shard. He controls up 3 in the back lines. Another defensive imprisonment from Sumail. Crip will finally go down to the Dagon of Tinker, but they're looking for it, but don't force off into the Eclipse. Sumail is trying to style, but even he does not have enough style to get away from that EHome lineup.
Overconfidence from EG. Meta's on cooldown. Arteezy had teleported out towards bottom. You do not want to be there. It's fine to lose Tusk, like we've said, but Sumail just a bit over-aggressive.
They're going again. Avalanche in. Arteezy, now the target in mid. They want him to burn this BKB again. He can Sunder life on Tiny, but it's not a lot of life. He gets back again. The Ice Path will miss this. Not to mention the split earth, but he's BKB. He turns around, looking for the kill onto Leshrac. Underneath the Supernova, he feels more confident. S4 as well, but they don't have a lot of life. The stun from the Supernova will connect over on the high ground, but with the Avalanche behind the lines, they still need to keep moving north. It's just not possible. EHome, they're sliding all over EG, and EG is slippery as hell, all down into the grave. 5 heroes die, Crit respawns quickly, but EHome, they are getting the fights they've always dreamed of.
Yeah, Arteezy's gotta be spamming illusions towards mid. I understand you don't want to allow these lanes to head towards your structures, but you've got 2 heroes dead. There's no reason EG should be taking that fight aggressively. Saving Arteezy is the goal. Even if he's got a BKB run away, so be it. It's already down to 6 seconds.
Crip, he's walking in. He thought he can go for some shenanigans, but the Observer and Sentry is up. Tiny keeps him occupied as Roshan will go down, but support wants to jump over. In fact, it's going to be Crit starting up the unit counter initiation onto Tiny, giving Sumail some intel buff up. So Tiny will throw away his life to create the space for EHome to get the Aegis of the Immortal. And that is in the hands of Leshrac. A 20 Bloodstone charge now, Leshrac.
Yeah. It goes back to this concept that we've seen abused by many of the top teams in this tournament. Which draft scales more to deal building damage? And that's what EHome is working against. You're playing great. They're playing better than EG right now. But they don't have the ability to punish mistakes like EG does. If EG takes 1 fight and the Terrorblade's alive, Tinker's dead, that's a Rax, maybe even 2. EHome, you win this huge fight, you wipe your enemy, and you get just the Roshan. And even that was a little close because you got to back up immediately. You don't have the time anymore to look and establish any map control just because you don't have that raw physical damage, and nobody's going to be scaling to do that.
It's all you really have is Edict. That's it. Diabolic Edict from the Leshrac. And you do have Tiny with Tree. They are pretty damn good at bringing down buildings. Crit under the Invis rune. A Sentry ward is there. They vacuum back in, and that is one very dead Tuskar. Dead for 50 seconds. EHome with an Aegis Immortal behind them. Maybe they feel confident enough to force down some lanes. Go down mid. Actually use that Diabolic Edict.
Yeah. The OD blink after Astral we just saw abused by Sumail there. I believe that was because the Ice Path had not formed yet. You have 2 ways on EHome to prevent that. If you, they're like, I don't know how to explain it, but like frame canceling stuns like Marana Arrow. If you spawn in the arrow, you're stunned. You cannot blink away. The same way it functions with Vacuum, if you just come out into it. And I believe Ice Path, although I know you can BKB coming down from a Yules into an Ice Path. I don't believe you can blink, but I imagine we'll probably see that interaction soon.
Just as an educational thread, everyone, how does Ice Path interact with every single stun that's available in the game?
It's not like there's any rules for this, okay? Like,
this is
it's
Dota.
just Ice Frog. Like, hey, this is how it works. And he'll change it.
It's just like, yeah, in Omni Slash you can TP out now. Yeah, that. It's just Dota, everyone. It's just Dota. In the words of Lacoste, can I get some frogs in chat? He loves that.
Level 18 on the Phoenix now, so he's got that maxed out egg, and I don't think EHome can reliably target it. I expect Fly to at some point. He's actually going for a Radiance. I mean, this man is wealthy. By pretty soon, S4 is going to find himself in the Zai location where he's just the cheapest player on his team.
Is EHome really reading this? They got a Tinker Ward down. EG is preparing a gank
they
now.
pinged out
Clockwork
Arteezy. They know
reveals
he's not
because
here.
the rock comes out, and they need to get the Avalanche through the tree lines. Clockwork should be okay. The tree toss will not be able to reach him, but underneath the Observer Ward, that is, well, I guess S4 can have a very good vision of his own death.
EG's gem timing is going to be critical because right now they're consistently playing under wards placed by EHome. You don't want to grab it too early because then you might potentially lose it, and then all of a sudden EHome's massive lane shove and pickoff potential.
The blink forward, looking for the kill on Arteezy, but Arteezy only had to walk a little bit further forward, but Avalanche toss, something needs to save ASD. The Aegis Mortar will break. Arteezy still has his BKB as well as the Sunder. There's going to be a hard fight for EHome to take, though inside the Darkseer wall and the Macropie. Maybe they have the damage. Perfect. Phoenix Sun is out. EHome must retreat. Tuskar will fall. EHome do get out of range of the Phoenix Sun, and you've got Leshrac on the run, banished up. He triggered the Bloodstone, so he already got his life back up again, but the Tinker, the laser hits, the Sunray will burn through. Leshrac goes down. Tiny will join him too. Fly is going to do so much work. He'll get the kill on Tiny in the back lines, while Jakiro dies in the front. Fly with a double kill.
That fight's not a favorable location for EHome. You want to be around creep waves or structures. You have a Tinker on your side, and the nearest wave was a full 2 blinks of distance away before you could even start getting rockets off reliably. Like, just well played by EG. This is how they win fights. You can't kill Arteezy reliably anymore. He's got a Satanic.
You mentioned it though, right?
2500 HP.
Like, if EHome really is the complexity of China, it's the mid-game run at you. They took the fight up on top. There was a ward inside the Radiant jungle, and that's why you saw Leshrac just TP to mid, Nova down the wave, and then jumped into the jungle. They wanted to kill off Arteezy. 1 kill isn't enough for them. They want to find more. As Fly, well, wants to stay alive as well. Ego begins his TP out. But Fly, you know that Radiance you were talking about? The Relic's coming out in the Courier.
Oh, look at mid lane.
And even look towards mid. Darkseer, BKB's available. He can survive through this. He'll BKB inside the cogs. Tinker needs to make the most out of this. Can he actually laser and buy some time? And no, the shards, Darkseer, Arteezy. He's uncertain if he wants to take the fight.
He was blocked out. The tree prevented him from actually entering the Ice Shard. May have been able to finish Faith Beyond. The Force wasn't on cooldown. But he does have Greaves, pretty tanky. And you look at this, all of a sudden EG is a 4K gold lead. It went from minus like 2K, 6K swing. They've cleared out the towers, and this is how you want to beat a Tinker. You keep him in his base. You remove his structures and his ability to play the map. And now, camping creep waves, you can find kills, and all of a sudden it's a lot scarier for Ego to venture out on the map alone.
Especially now you see OD with the Scythe available. And you'll have the Hex. It's the amplification with the intel. That's 178 int on the OD, which all goes to buffing up the Eclipse, thanks to the Tinker Observer Ward that's down. There goes your Eclipse. Faith Beyond's BKB will protect him so he can surge himself away underneath the Phoenix Sun. But on the other side, Clockwork dying to Leshrac. The blink forward from ASD gives him a double kill. But you know Sumail once more. 28 intel stolen. He hit so hard. Make it 32. Eclipse, he'll have his way to jump back out to Ego. A quick blink. Faith Beyond. He's running back as Arteezy chases him as well. ASD will finally go down. That was a certainty.
And Artura's done a great job thus far of avoiding the VAC wall. Even if you're BKB'd, you will spawn a wall illusion, and that solves a lot of EHome's physical damage problems if all of a sudden they have a Terrorblade of their own, dealing almost 100% damage. You don't get certain item bonuses. But, man, like, this feels like just an easy game for EG, similar to Vici in their last series, where Vici Gaming just drafted themselves into a hole. They put themselves on a clock in that decisive Game 3, and even though, like, I don't even know if EG feels like they outplayed Vici. They were just in a position where they had a much cleaner draft, and it was far easier to execute. EHome, they put themselves on a clock. They are up against the clock, and it's not working out too well.
I get that, but at the same time, I feel like EHome's team fight, it still has a lot of bite to it. And their counter push that can come from inside the base is also quite good. So does EG continue to find these fights outside the base?
Not if EHome stands as 4 heroes on their high ground, but it's possible. It all comes down to the gem timing. I think that's the next play here for EG. I expect to see someone grab that pretty soon and just start to limit the vision of EHome. You can see Arteezy sending a TB illusion, hopefully to check those bottom bounties. I see them being pinged out, but I think that was EHome. Somebody should go grab those.
Yeah,
you've got a lot of gold.
You've got Tinker with Refresher Blink. He can, like, when Tinker is inside your own base, you know there's issues.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's really changed about late game Dota. We don't typically see games go too long anymore. When you get to this stage, that bounty, 122 gold. EG's advantage, like, they just went up so like 2,200 off those 4 bounties they collected. You don't really need to do anything. Like, look at it, from 5 to 10 in a couple of minutes, and a lot of it's just those bounties. A product of establishing map control, keeping EHome in their base is you don't really need to do anything. Just keep grabbing the runes, kill the next Roche, and your advantage at some point is going to be insurmountable.
They're looking for a toss-back target. Tiny is trying to find one. Faith Beyond blinks forward, but this can definitely reveal the fact that Vision is on the hill. And they're pinging it out. We need a sentry ward to the front lines. And hey, look, Phoenix. I think he's got a little bit of cash, Kyle.
Just a little. I mean,
90 gold per minute plus the Hand of Midas.
And this is the key item. Look at what Sumail's got queued up. Refresher Shard, baby. This, I don't know what to do as EHome's side. You have a BKB able to be completed on the Tinker. You already have one on Faith Beyond's Darkseer and the ASD Leshrac. It's just a concern that, like, double Hex, double BKB, you just can't mess with Sumail, ever, if he's got his cooldowns available.
EHome stuck inside their base as well, so there's no way they can contest EG's Roshan. Like, they can smoke, they can search, but by the time they even get to the tier 2 tower position, Roshan is taken by evil geniuses. And in fact, they're smoking up and the line is drawn to go south. They want to go the bottom lane, mid as well as top. Has pushed out a little bit. A BT down from the Tinker. Clockwork, he reveals himself. He turns on the Blade Mail, so that's why there's no blink available. And OD also arrives. Tinker will just go down. Buyback's available. And I think EHome were trying to bait with their Tinker, but now it turns into something else. Double TPs down to the shrine. They're in full retreat, EHome.
Well played. That's all the Tinker Ward. I mean, S4, great positioning. He's not with his team. He's not roshing. He's actually playing as far from the pit as possible because that's the lane Tinker will feel the safest in.
Jakura macropies the bottom lane. They won't have that deep push in the mid. 4-star forward, Tiny. He's got Shadow Blade available. They don't have any detection inside the base, but they don't want to have to buy back on Tinker. So Faith Beyond, he'll burn the wall to create a copy of the Terrorblade. Wants to try and keep it alive. Sumail jumps in to try and get rid of it, but it won't happen.
You don't need EG, just go top. You know the wall's down. This is the big damage. This is the only way EHome gets physical damage.
No macropire, no wall. Tinker still refusing to buy back. Fortification is up. ASD has returned to the lane. But it looks like evil geniuses and will take this top lane of Rax.
Watch for Sumail to just get active. He's so threatening. There he is.
Still no buyback from the Tinker. Terrorblade, so much damage, so much lifesteal thanks to the Satanic Tinker will finally buy back. And Sumail, he's underneath the fountain. Drop the Eclipse! A triple kill on the back of 36 stolen int! Man, EHome have to be, well, yeah. Get educated.
Tinker's dead. That was the Tinker buyback.
This is the game, really. Without Tinker, there's no way that EHome can really defend their lane of their base.
What I said, one fight. One kill. Tinker's dead. Oh, well, EG win.
Just like Powerball, one fight can change it all for you. Even Refresher Orb being purchased up by Terrorblade. They got the Hex out. They damage onto Jakiro. Sumail hits like a truck, 40 stolen intelligence. They're trying to get the counter kill into him. Sumail is low, but he will be able to survive. And in fact, they go in even deeper. Sumail actually got the stunted life out from the Terrorblade, and that's who ASD is chasing down. He's forgotten the rest of his team. He's chasing after the Terrorblade, but it won't happen. Hook shot avoided. ASD, he's buying time, but I'm not quite certain time for what.
Look at where Sumail is. He's in the base, casually just hurricane biking.
Just killing everybody.
Oh, he buys a refresher.
Oh, yeah. He bought it. He actually bought it before he must have sold it, then repurchased it with the Eclipse. He gets one more kill on a Faith Beyond. Leshrac is still battling as much as he can over towards the Shrine to get some mana back so he can try and battle against Crypt, but won't. He'll blink down instead.
Tinker's still dead for 37 seconds.
They can't take full megas. The tier 2 tower is alive on bottom. So they have a little bit of time. ASD will now just, with the bounty room pickup, he needs more creeps before he can afford his sustain through the Octarine. Now he can get it.
Oh, man, it feels like it was an EG game. Easy EG game. Nothing even changed. You know, Bulba is just like Ash going up against the Elite Four of China. You win this one, probably go up against LGD if they're able to beat Fnatic. And he's just like, you know, why would I change out my Pokemon? OD, Terrorblade, these work for me. I'm going to keep it going.
EG seems super effective. But EHome, they are fighting. They are not giving up. Just like Ash, you keep losing a whole bunch of tournaments, but you still keep turning up.
Hey,
don't worry, it's the heart of the Pokemon. Wait, hang on, I'm getting crossover.
I mean, they definitely have the record for most top 3s at an event for probably over the last half decade or so. Don't have just there's a lot of good Dota to be played. All right, even the ones that don't make the land still have a lot of talent.
Hey, they have the power to fight. ASD's finally having some sustain. They took a long time to try and even bring him down. Even then, EG failed. But because EG went for objective-based gaming.
Sumail was in the base.
Okay, yeah.
His Aegis popped 200 units from when he would have been in the Fountain's attack range.
They're smoking. They're coming for a fight. Looking for the opening. Arteezy's up on top of the hill. Shards fly forward. Snowball. There goes your save from Crit. Arteezy thinking about joining this fight. They've got the toss out. The Sunray's giving Crit so much more life. Arteezy still waiting for the right time to initiate, but ASD pumping out so much damage. And Icarus dive forward under the BKB. Still no Supernova just yet. And the 4-staffs. Nice to get away from the shards. So EHome. So a little bit of chip damage. It was their initiation onto the support, but they still can't find the kill. Instead, they find Sumail, the Avalanche. He'll get the BKB off the Avalanche, and was never able to connect. Tiny hexed up for the moment. You know Sumail wants to get a little bit of intel. Okay, that's a little bit of an interesting Hurricane Pike, but now the orbs, boom, 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 all flying down to the Tiny. Run home, however. Arteezy is taking the tier 3 towers. So while this fight goes on, EHome are being mega creeped by the Terrorblade. They have to try and cancel any TPs back. Faith Beyond's TP, it won't work either. Trying to BKB and search away. He didn't want to have to use that one before. So Crit and Fly will stay on the back of his tail. But Arteezy's just going for the full GG. He is isolated, but he has Refresher Orb as well as the BKB. So here you go again. The double parallel wall. They need to try and bring him down. Avalanche toss. That's onto a support. His BKB is there. Not to mention the Sunder. He won't even have it. No one's got enough life for him to really steal it. They back him back in. Maybe actually he has to be pushed back. The range track isn't down just yet. This Tinker makes it difficult when the laser bounces through, giving that miss chance. The parallel walls are there. Another back is still on cooldown for the moment, but the range track is finally brought down. Leshrac wants to fight, but so does Sumail. Here comes your orb attacks into Leshrac. 12 down on the end, and Sumail gets smarter and smarter. 52 intelligence stolen, and he's got Eclipse up. You know he wants to nuke him.
This is going to be fun.
Ready?
Oh, he's going to go
in. Ready? Hammer is in 3, 2, 1, boom! Goodbye, Faith Beyond. Goodbye, everybody else. The Nova's dropped as well. Sumail is as smart as they come. He'll end this game on 88 stolen intelligence against EHome. It's a smart draft. They are meant to be geniuses. Evil ones.
I agree with that statement, Toby. But the script that EG followed to win this game is not that different from what they demonstrated yesterday. And EHome came out, they doubled down on how they prefer to play. High tempo, all about the mid game. And, I mean, you can kind of feel it in the crowd. Just all together, withers at the end.
Yeah.
don't even think that their draft allows them an opportunity to really play that game much better once you hit 40 minutes or so.
It's just such an odd pickup to have Shrek at the end to take the Tinker out of mid and then to completely ignore any level of physical damage. You're right in saying it was a simple execution from EG. All they had to do was not screw up. And EHome was still looking for the fights. They still found S4 a couple of times. They found Crit. They found Fly until they got richer than anybody else.
And I like that. You could make an argument perhaps that EG's cores could have scaled a bit better. They both went second item BKB, but that sort of stabilizes the game, and it enables the two supports to be greedier, notably Fly, going for the Midas into Radiance. He has a BKB to end the game. Like, you're very confident, obviously, the way they played.
Yeah.
EHome, I'm EG, you know Bubba. He's going to probably look to do something real damn similar.
We may
gotta
see
go back to the drawing
almost
board.
exactly the same draft. 3 out of 5 is normally the EG way of going through each series. But EHome, they willing to let the OD through. They have to change it up for Game 2 if they want to stand a chance to stay here in the Chongqing Major.
more information you have, the better the decisions. Data is crucial to do important decisions in Dota games and even before the Dota game in preparation. It's really cool that a big company like SAP is investing into esports and that I can be a part of it is amazing.
EG going to take down the first game, but the big question we have on the desk, did EHome beat themselves in their draft? My name is Rich. I'm going to be your host. I'm joined on the desk by Gods and Black, and we're going to talk about this series in detail and try to predict what's going to happen in the next one.
So this is EHome, and this is EHome's draft.
I got Black some toys so he would behave on the desk, and even that failed. So we're just gonna
he's getting a bit better than yesterday at least, you know. Or he's picking up.
yeah, that wasn't too tough. Gods, Black, you're in timeout. Gods, what did you think of the draft coming out from EHome?
They had no late game, nothing to hit buildings with, and as a result, their play was just desperate. They were like desperately trying to push, trying to play the early game, and it's not working. Second the BKBs came from EG, the game is just over.
I know Black was being slightly hyperbolic, but he said something along the lines of, if VP drafted this and played against any team, they would lose. That's how bad you said the draft was.
I thought it was like a 90-10 draft, something like that. It was ridiculous. Like, you can't draft this kind of thing. It's 2019, man.
Do you feel like it was that hard to win with it? Do you think it was really a 90-10 scenario, Gons?
Yeah, probably. It's just how...
Also how they laned. Carry Tinker and Leshrac mid. Everything was so off.
The lanes ended up not costing them too much, I don't think. They definitely gave Sumail a lot of space in the mid lane, but I think it's much more than the lanes this game. It's just how the draft really came together. Like, yeah, Lesh Tinker as your 1-2 position, all magic damage, nothing against BKBs. Some building push with Edict, but not really amazing. Leshrac versus TB, I don't really feel like it's actually particularly good for Leshrac because you just melt to the TB metamorph. He outranges you, you try to walk up to him, you just die to the right click. So it wasn't pretty for EHome, even though the game for 25-30 minutes felt kind of close. It really wasn't.
They kind of outplayed them a lot though. I think EHome had a lot of good fights. They won they shouldn't have, where they just outplayed EG. They caught them out of position. They were in really good positions themselves, but if you have this kind of draft, you can't punish anything. Like, they won a team fight, they got a Roche, and it took them like 40 seconds.
I mean, Kyle was even saying that. I feel like EHome was playing better than EG. They team wiped them, they got a Roche. EG, they win one fight, they get double racks. Game is just over. Like, all it takes for EG is one successful team fight where Tinker dies, and with Terrorblade, you just push buildings.
And also, doesn't this somewhat just play right into EG's hand? This is a team that's wanted to make sure they make it to the late game. They're focusing a lot on the team fight with heroes like Phoenix. Did EHome just give them the time that they needed for everything on EG's side to start clicking?
Yes, they did.
But you can't end the game earlier, too.
Yeah,
because you don't have tower push.
Ending games early, even if you had a bit more tower push, it just doesn't... I don't know. I don't think it's going to work. Like, let's say you put in, like, a Shaman or something else, like, with some building push potential. It just doesn't still look like a draft to me.
I mean, TB had minute 15, Yasha BKB. Yeah. At that point, he's like virtually indestructible.
Yeah. This is where if EG was in EHome's position in the draft, they would have last picked an Arc Warden instead of Leshrac. And then it's like, okay, you've got this late game scaling hero, you've got a way to go late game. Instead, they get a Leshrac. They just double down on this early game magic damage, which is just not going to do it for you.
Yeah, and of course, as we saw, EG loves going late game, doing it here once again. They were not even trying to end the game early. They were just farming up, just staying in their own half, farming the enemy side of the map when they can. And that's just EG.
Just hanging out, waiting for the GGs to come in. But when you look at the side of EHome, you basically say, okay, it just looks like they basically beat themselves. EG, can we even get any temperature on how they are playing? I know you mentioned, Kyle said, it looked like at times EHome was even outplaying that, but can we really even assess how EG is feeling, how they're looking for the rest of the day? Or was this not an accurate depiction of what we can expect from either of these teams, even within this series?
I think they still have a lot of polishing to do. S4 had another very rough game. But, Sumail, back on his OD again.
So as a team, I don't think they necessarily played around each other perfectly, but some individuals stepped up. Sumail was like 17-1 there at the end. Sumail, super flashy stuff from him. A lot of fun to watch. Fly's Phoenix going for Midas, playing a bit greedier this
Midas
game.
Radiance.
I liked it. It's good to see Fly recognize this is a slow game. We're going late game. I've got this GPM talent, I get this Midas, where there's no pressure on us. I'm going to go, Midas Radiance. I think EG individually made good item calls, made good plays. It's just the team wasn't clicking perfectly, but first game of the day as well.
Yeah, I'm very excited to actually see what strategies we see come out again. Do you think it's really on EHome right now to just go a completely different route in the draft? Because to a certain degree, it feels like that draft was so reactive. They were really looking at how EG set the tempo in the draft.
I expected something like a Faces Void, just get a winning condition. This game they had none. They can win fights, you win a fight, and then nothing. It's just not going to work. Not in this kind of like caliber Dota.
Yeah, for what Gods was basically saying, it was like, yeah, they win the team fight, and then what do they convert it to? What are they able to actually do after you win a team fight? So they definitely need to find ways to get that into their lineup this time around. EG, I feel like they just try to do the same thing again, right? There's pretty much no pressure on them at this point.
Yeah, they'll secure, just, cover the basics. We talk about drafting. There's a lot of check boxes that you just want to tick one by one, and EG is very good about doing that. Hard carry for Arteezy, playmaker for Sumail, playmaker type Romu for Crit, solid support for Fly. Like they get it all. They make sure they tick all the boxes, and at no point does it ever feel like EG has an incomplete draft.
Can you please ban the OD as EHome though?
I agree.
It's the 4th game in a row he gets it uncontested. Again, he gets a free farm lane.
5th game, I think. It goes even before the BO3 yesterday, yeah.
Like, they don't even try to counter him, Yesterday, he got it 3 times against VG, and they didn't try to counter him. Today, same thing. And he just does his, own thing all the time. He deals so much damage in all these fights. He plays his hero really well. Just at least make him play something else. You obviously can't beat it.
I mean, that's the thing, too. It's getting scarier and scarier as he just racks up game after game after game. It's been 5 games in a row.
I mean, he probably came into this tournament with 10 OD games to play. Yeah, I'm not going to play the hero so much. Then the first game, he's like, oh, what do I actually build? What items? Oh, this is kind of good. Now in the 5th game, he's like, whoa. Show on, 17-2.
Best OD in the world.
Crushing kids.
Yeah, just absolutely bodying people up on the main stage. But in all reality, the way that they've prioritized the OD, they want it. Can you ever let somebody have something that they want, especially at this level, when you're down to the wire that frequently? I mean, maybe you give it a test once, let him take a little bit of a nibble with the OD, and then you go, ouch, that hurts. Stop.
They banned Puck instead of OD. Yes, Sumail's a good Puck, but EG are not playing Puck other than 1 game against Aster. What are you thinking banning Puck instead of OD? Makes 0 sense.
All right, so you don't like what EHome's banning. You don't like what they're trying to do to actually counter EG based off of their actions. Does this fall in line with what you were panicking about before we even saw EHome really start their run in the CQ Major?
They played so well in this game, but it all fell apart in the drafting stage already, which we criticized before the game even started then. If they can't fix this, they have no chance of winning against EG, who always has a solid lineup to, at the very least, be 50-50 in the draft.
And now we're going to be taking a look at the next draft of a series that could end here. We could see EG move on forward. If you move on forward here, you end up playing the winner of whoever does take down the next series between LGD and Fnatic. And the winner of that moves on to play Secret for a spot in the grand final. EHome needs to make their stand here and extend it all the way to a 3rd game, and an early TB coming out here again for EG, backed up by the Tiny. EHome, though, with the Tusk.
Taking the Tusk this time instead of... What did they take last time? Tiny, I think, right?
Yeah.
I think they took Tiny first.
Tiny, I want to say, yeah.
Yeah. Now, 2nd phase, they're definitely going to ban OD, though. I believe in them and their capability of doing so. Oh, they pick it up themselves. All right.
That works.
That works.
They've got to feel confident, because they could just ban this out. They don't need to pick it to block EG getting it. So they must feel like they can utilize this hero well, and also what they've seen EG do, they must feel it's incredibly strong.
You get that camera shot, you're like, oh shit.
I gotta play another hero.
You gotta do something else.
Well, he's played the hero more than anyone at this tournament. He knows probably how to beat the hero better than anyone at this tournament.
True.
He was probably so bored of playing it too.
Can I
just get something flashy, man?
Did you see that last game? I think he was having fun. He was buying refresher in the enemy fountain, dropping sanities in the enemy fountain, diving enemy fountain. He was definitely having a good time.
That is one thing I'll say with the EG too. Everybody talks about how they are really. There's that Puck again, but I will say, everybody talks about this being a team that feels comfortable in the loser portion of the bracket. They don't feel the pressure. They can make that run. It just wakes them up. It gives them that hunger. It allows them to start to play to their full potential. When you see them around the event, At no point, I think Bulba maybe you could say Bulba at times seemed like a little bit stressed, but nobody else looks stressed when you see them around the event.
Bulba is like he's absorbing the stress of everybody. When you see him sometimes, like
it's important for the team, though.
Yeah, I mean he's doing a good job in that regard, and I mean you can tell.
He tries to play it off cool though all the time.
Yeah, he's
you walk up to him, I'll be like, yeah, is it hard for you to like, watch your team play?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Like, no, I'm fine. His legs shaking.
Yeah, legs shaking. He's like, oh god.
Ace game. And so we're gonna see the Phoenix once again. We've seen this Phoenix. Oh, we've seen the Phoenix how many times now for them?
Three games, third time in their last 2 BO3s. Yeah, it might be just 3 in a row too.
And it's super good against OD and Tusk. Juggernaut.
But say EHome, whatever you do, pick a scaling physical damage core.
Yeah.
Jug or PA, they're not the best matchups for his TB, but I think you just need them for your draft. Get some building push. You've got the OD as at least somewhat of a solution for the TB.
Yeah.
Picking a Jug to me is okay.
Underlord.
Alright.
I mean...
Well, it's another hero that can kind of mitigate some of the TB's damage, so I feel like you don't need a carry that is designed to counter the TB when you have these two heroes.
Yeah.
What, Black? What do you want to say?
He's straightening up a bit. I'm pretty sure it's just the headset pushing them. You know what I mean?
Who are you to judge fashion?
I'm not judging. I'm saying it looks great. It makes me happy every time I see it.
Doom. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think any of us are anyone to judge fashion here at the desk. I've been going about my superstitions the entirety of this tournament, so I can't judge.
When it comes to fashion, I'm definitely like a fucking caveman.
Yeah, you're probably the worst on the panel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like not only the panel, probably on the entire event, everybody's better than me.
Yeah.
Even the crowd.
Yeah, for sure.
Like certainly.
Yeah, you drop the ball habitually.
Yeah, but it's fine. I got my own qualities, you know. Can't be good at everything.
Yeah, you're good at Dota. And
anti-mage.
Good at AM.
Yeah, he corrects you. Good at Dota, no, good at anti-mage.
just an AM spam right here.
There was not a correction, it was an add-on.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're always right, too. That's
Exactly.
the other thing with Black.
Yeah. And Doom, quite good against Underlord though, since it's max HP damage.
It's also here, you know, you can go 0-5, but you got Devour, you can catch up.
Yeah. Or like yesterday, 0-7.
Yeah.
They do go for the Jug.
This makes sense. It's
very unfavorable matchup, but you can make it work. Other teams made it work. The OD can counter the TB.
Yeah, we've seen Jug actually win games against TB this tournament.
Yep. So now they're looking for position 4?
5, right? I mean, unless Tusk is a 5, but it's probably going to be the Innocence hero for Y.
If you have... No, EG has last pick, okay. Yeah, then that makes more sense.
And EG's, last picking Sumail's hero, they're going to be playing crit on Tiny most likely. They pick his hero in the first stage.
Yeah, and then Sumail is going to be on... Honestly, I wouldn't mind a sniper too much.
Sniper TB, it seems okay. There's just no heroes to get on top of the sniper really right now.
Other than the snowball.
Yeah.
And Blink Daggers later on. What else is there? Puck is banned. What else is good against OD? Trying to think. Thinking is not one of my strengths, though.
It definitely isn't. Thinking, dressing, both categories you completely fail at.
Yeah.
Bring back the mid-nature's prophet.
Yeah. Do it.
That hero should beat OD mid with Trina. I feel like you actually.
Yeah, but no one solo killed him.
When
but
he
also
was,
no one.
Yeah.
No one OD solo killed him.
Imagine he misplayed that a bit too.
Ah, of course. Like you don't die to OD before 6.
You Bulba there for a second, looking pretty confident.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's no pressure on them right now at all. They love their draft. EHome is a bit more like, ooh, we're feeling it.
You got. Could see Husker. Does Sumail play Husker?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he plays most heroes.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, look. That's a Sumail here. Knowing OD's going to have to go kind of BKB against.
To the OD is very weak to DP until he actually gets the BKB.
And it's EG just. Just following their draft formula.
To be able to take this one cleanly is
Personally, I'm hoping for a game 3, but I'd also just like to clarify something the panel was talking. Do their things without shoes on. I, myself, have no shoes whenever I cast.
I kept my shoes on.
It's my rock. You're my analytical rock. And we've got a fantastic draft from both sides. EHome. Have a lot better combination, mainly.
Yeah, it's a more balanced. EG go Tusk Terrorblade. EG prioritizing Radiant, EHome, exact same bands in the exact. I think that's just a better hero in general. Crit, laning phase, finding kills.
Okay, Innocence. Is he trying to underneath the Radiant Tower? Doesn't take any damage. Guys, he's pinging this, but why is he walking full support off?
We could EHome though, because you don't want to ever put on because of the Devour mechanic and the Infernal Blade is max HP.
Directly in front of EHome, and they spin damage. They're a little bit clustered, and so we're worried would happen again. S4, and without a TP to one mid matchup. You were mentioning it during the draw against the RD.
Yeah. The matchups, you buy a BKB and you're high end, hammer damage. Bot kill, but also they gained lane control. So S4 has to walk to find kills on this dude.
It's a Centaur as well. They can potentially body block him. I'm in the tree lines, kind of XP away from getting it, and we close the distance.
I think you want to wait if you're and look to get aggressive. Now, there's too many, you got to block. In top lane, we haven't discussed it, but Faith Beyond also equally struggling. He's already not level 2.
This is the difference. Exact problem yesterday. It was 7 kills in 7 minutes as Innocence to help. And they actually looked against his attack on the fly. A little bit difficult when he gets hit by the Fire Spirits while on bottom lane. Combo together with S4 to find the kill. They have the extra damage thanks to the clap creep.
Yep. A 100
bolt going in after Terrorblade. RTZ.
Well played by EHome. This is the power that Roth.
The miss. The Fairy Fire from Smell keeps him alive. The intel steal was good, and he was able to salve himself up and repair all the damage that Samel did to him while Samel was imprisoned.
You can see
they're
thinking about it. Fly does have dime, though.
This is what needs to happen. They're trying to contest RTC's catch-up, which is just to walk into these small camps and continuously farm.
This is a cool decision from EHome. I like it. Effectively just free farming the entire ego a bit. He's bottom against 2, but he got so much free farm at the start that it's more difficult for Urz up top. Artor's been relegated to the jungle.
He's already at 7 intel stolen. He's a little bit more damage. Crit creates the space with the avalanche. So EG can walk back behind their own tower while but didn't have the vision to get the disable.
Smel's just going to sit mid. Doom going to TP top. And they recognize Artor just can't lane. But he's in trouble.
Artor is actually dead. They start with the Hex. They can go on to just don't exist.
And this is a repeat of game 1. EHome just moving around the map more efficiently. He's going to go back to the woods, TPs to the...
That's the target they want to kill off. AS
way to take objectives.
the Ether Shock does a hell of a lot of damage, but they want to move.
Developed control throughout the entire EG.
The intimidation factor on bottom lane too. The Shaman.
This is
support is walking
with one spell for quite some time.
Check that Tusker was hanging around.
The Vlad's already. It's spamming the wave.
Begins the TP away to safety. Tusker. Panics work. Underlord, no! Innocent's trying to buy as much space at
this tower as well. Doug could kill him in tandem, but he'll get vision of the Rasta, and unless they get
the shackles. He was trying to buy the X too late to the fight. Available. So if Juggernaut wants to present
that toss back properly in S4,
but it pushes crit away and locks.
And unlike the previous game, they're love watching Chinese teams specifically. Map control that EHome was so easily. Their draft just ran out of gas.
Also makes it more punished. Shadow Shaman, we've already seen how well he can do once Mass open more. It's just this great disabler. Then again, like the key items for him is Beloved Days. But S4's having the time. I don't know if that's a good thing, however, because it means Arteezy's falling behind.
As well, this is a hero, like any, and if you're able to just turn a fight around, get some drains off, survive.